Warfare or discipline. For the Lord disciplines the one he loves and punishes every son he receives. Hebrews 12:6. There is a tendency among Christians to view anything unpleasant that happens to them as the result of spiritual warfare. When a difficulty arises, many immediately ask God to remove their distress. The problem is that their predicament may have nothing to do with Satan or with spiritual warfare. It may appear far more glorious for us to explain our hardships as Satan's determined attacks against us, rather than admitting that we are merely reaping what we have sown and are being disciplined by our Heavenly Father. Galatians 6:7. What is often mistaken as Satan's attack may actually be chastisement from our loving Father. If you have neglected your role as a spiritual teacher to your children, God may allow them to fall into sin. If you've been dishonest at work, God may correct you by letting you face the consequences. It would be foolish to pray that God would ease your discomfort. God is disciplining you in order to gain your attention and bring necessary change to your life. How tragic never to make the connection between your problems and God's discipline. God's discipline will not help you if you dismiss it as Satan's doing or spiritual warfare. Not every hardship you face is the chastisement of God, but Scripture indicates that God will discipline you. If you misunderstand God's chastening, you may actually blame him for not answering your prayers or failing to protect you from Satan. Meanwhile, God is warning you of the danger you face because of your sin. Are there difficult circumstances in your life? Could it be the discipline of God? God, whose nature is perfect love, will correct you because he has your ultimate good in his heart. Good morning, Rebecca. And good morning to you. My name is Ken Tracy, and this is Coffee with Ken. It is Tuesday morning. It is March 3rd. It is 7:47 a.m. Happy Tuesday. It's a little show I've been doing for quite some time. But it is a show about me talking, show about me sharing some feelings, kind of sharing a little bit about the ups and downs, the travels of one man as he works his way down his path in his life. But for those that have been watching a while, you know it's not just a show about me talking. You know it is also a show about me sharing my love of coffee. Hold on, let me take a quick sip of water. And with that in mind, I got a nice hot cup of coffee in front of me. And I am so excited to have my first sip at this fairly late hour for me. My hope is wherever you are and whatever you're doing, that you have a hot cup of coffee in front of you as well. Cheers to us. I think I might have skimped out on one of my creams today. Might have cut back. Maybe I'm just getting immune to the delightful flavors of the sweet cream. Raining outside today. Kind of nice to see the rain come down. Slept in a little bit. Woke up around just after 7. Overslept my FaceTime for my kids. Kind of felt bad about that. But laid in bed. Wasn't really excited to uh, honestly get up or go live or, I don't know, maybe attack the day. Maybe it's okay. I'm not feeling that high energy today. Got a couple appointments today. I was at the gym yesterday. You know, I've been working the heavy bag lately and really enjoying that. And I think I kind of know. I mean, I don't know if I know what I'm doing, but I mean, I know I'm exerting a fair amount of energy. I worked up to 4 2-minute rounds punching the heavy bag, and it feels pretty good. There's a dude there, and I listen to my headset when I um, usually work out generally, but certainly I listen to like some heavier music when I'm hitting the heavy bag. And a guy came over that I've seen before that's in an amazing shape, and I think from afar I've been watching him give lessons or coaching in fitness, but I think his target area is um, boxing or kickboxing or what have you. And again, the guy's in amazing shape. And he came over to me yesterday. I was going into new territory. I was gonna start a fifth round, and I had started a fifth round, and he came up. And I've got boxing gloves on. I don't know if you know, but I mean, when you're wearing these big boxing gloves, you don't have much fine motor skill. You're able to punch with padded fists, but you certainly can't. You have no access to your fingers, and even your thumb is tethered to the or has a strap attached to your the rest of your hand. And anyway, he came over and he said something, and I'm kind of, and he undid my thing, my glove, so I took it off and took out an earbud, and he said, what I thought he said, what I thought he said is, hey, I saw you working out yesterday, and I want to network with you. So, wow, you're in amazing shape. We exchanged a word or two yesterday. I don't know what we would network about. I mean, I'm new to this area. I've been a networker before. I've been a realtor through business, you know, building up, you know, pipelines of potential customers through networking and meeting other people. But I go, what the heck? And then I leaned in again and I realized he said mitt work. And I could gathered fairly quickly that he was offering me to meet me tomorrow, which is today, for a little mitt work. And he was going to train me for free. I'm assuming, under the hopes, either he cared so much about my boxing skill that he wanted me to be better at it, or he was looking for a future, uh, you know, somebody to train. I go, well, you know, I'm not into boxing really. I just like blowing off some stress. And he goes, well, we're just going to work on perfecting what you are already perfecting. I thought it was kind of nice. We'll see how it goes. I must tell you, I'm a little stressed about it. I mean, I got an interview later today for a job that would really be life trajectory changing. But I'm far more nervous about going in and meeting this guy and doing mitt work. I Googled mitt work. I also asked ChatGPT, and he thought it was a good idea. And apparently, mitt work, it's where they wear those, you know, those mitts, I guess, that you can punch. And you work on combinations. And I don't know if you've seen like boxing movies, but they'll swing over you. And I don't know if he'll be doing that for me. I have no idea. But it apparently make me more adept. I wouldn't want a trainer. I guess I'm afraid of commitment. I don't like that I'm committed today at a certain time at a certain location to meet some dude for mint work when I'm not totally sure I know what it is. I kind of like just getting in when I get in, honestly. Doing the workout I want to do. Because if I got there, and I never do, but if I got there and said, to hell with this place, I don't want to be here. I don't want to work out today. I want to go sit in my room, go to a coffee shop, go to a park, do nothing at all, sit in my car. I could. I would owe explanations to nobody. But now I am this amazingly fit boxer dude that's going to train me. Again, I talk about my favorite movie of all time being Rocky. Suddenly I'm going to have Mickey yelling at me, chasing me around, nagging at me. Maybe this gentleman and I will have the loving relationship that The Rock had with Mickey. I mean, I doubt it, but maybe. I asked him, I said something to him about his boxing history, and he goes, yeah, I was pro for a little while. And I'll tell you what, this guy, fit as hell and looks like he can, uh, I don't know, do some serious damage in the martial arts. You know, he's weight wise, he's probably smaller than me. I'm sure that he is. But again, fit as hell. And I've seen him hit the heavy bag, and he's very good at it. But it just amazes me because he was a pro for a little while, as he said. And I think about the difference between a guy that was a pro for a little while and that's one of the top in the world. It's a big difference. Vanilla said, Rocky is a good movie to watch with your lady because it's kind of a love story, too. Well, it certainly is a love story, too. But I'll bet you most of the people that really like Rocky are men. I mean, I'm a man, and it's my favorite movie of all time. And I probably have certainly thought some of the love scenes, although sort of sweet, weren't my favorite parts. Like when he's kind of shuffling around the ice rink and she's got her ice skates in the first one. I mean, that's kind of cute. And his awkwardness around women. I mean, it's cute. You're right. It's kind of a love story. Your girlfriend was obsessed with that movie when you showed her. Well, you should hold on to that girl. You should hold on to that girl. Yeah, Rocky started out as enforcer for a loan shark. He sure did. He worked the docks. Would walk around with a handball or a racquetball and just kind of bounce it, and had these uh, gloves without the tips of their fingers in it. I'll tell you what, I get the chills thinking about the music. The score. I think the guy that did it, maybe his name John Williams, and he did the score for like Jaws and maybe Star Wars as well, the Star Wars movies. You guys can look that up. If any of you that are out there and you care to Google that for me, I'm pretty sure his name was John Williams. And he did the music behind some of the best movies of that era for sure. Somebody just called me Bruce. I'll tell you what, I was sitting in my coffee shop. I wasn't actually sitting in my coffee shop. I was standing. I was waiting for the bathrooms to empty. They were both taken for a little while. I was a little bit frustrated. But either way, that's not that connected to the story. Um, and a woman came up and said, "Did anybody ever tell you that you look like Bruce Willis?" I said, "Yes, I have heard that before." I wanted to tell her I thought I was a little taller. Does the statue of Rocky stand in Philly, or was it just for the movie? I think it did for a long, long time. I don't think it's in Philly anymore, but it might be, and I could be wrong. John Williams has won many Oscars for his music. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, you take the music out of the scenes, you don't even notice the music going on. Well, certainly you notice like the Jaws. Dun, 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 dun. That, but that's John Williams. And John Williams is also the sound when the Empire, when Darth Vader walks into the room, and I can't think of the music that the music is for Darth Vader's music, but it's hugely impactful and yet brings you back. And without the music, it's just a bunch of guys in robot suits running around pretending to shoot lasers at each other. It's really weird how big of a role the music does play. Good morning, Chris. You are sure he did the themes to Rollerball, the old version? I don't know Rollerball. Somebody said the statue is still there. I almost thought they took it down for some reason, but the statue is still there. That's super cool. The Rocky statue is at the bottom of the Rocky steps. I'll bet you a lot of people get their picture taken out in front of the Rocky statue. I think it was unveiled in Rocky 3. And Mickey looked at it and said something like, "It's a thing of beauty." Well, I'm glad it's still there. I tell you, Rocky 3 was a pretty darn good movie, too. 2 was great. 2 had a lot of slower scenes. I wonder if the guy that was watching earlier, that watched the first one with his girlfriend, ever watched Rocky 2 with his girlfriend. Because believe me, there's more love seen during that as well. Adrian gets unhealthy. I forget what's wrong with her, but something bad happens to her. I'm kidding you not, I'm getting the chills, but she wakes up from like a long coma. She goes, "I want you to win." And Mickey goes, "What are we waiting for?" I love those movies. So that's going to be me today. I'm meeting this gentleman. It's no longer just an innocent stress relief and punch in the bag with the goal of not hurting my wrists. Worried he's going to start telling me to do jump roping. Go, hey, I didn't sign up for this. Thought we were going to do some mitt work. It'd be kind of interesting to spar. I mean, I'd get my ass kicked by this dude for sure. But there's other guys that are in there that probably also kick my ass. I don't know why. I mean, I guess I say that because I'm not much of a fighter, really. But I think I'm hitting the bag pretty hard, getting in better shape. Sly has a replica of the statue at his house. I don't think he's going to say I should. I'm worried he's going to tell me to jump rope. And I'm going to have to listen. And I'd explain to him, excuse me, my boxing teacher, I have a bad knee. There's no cartilage left in that knee. I don't feel jumping rope would be a good idea. If he has me trying to chase after a live rooster, I think that was Rocky too. I mean, those chickens are probably dang fast. Someone who is truly great. Oh, I don't think he's going to make fun of me. No, I don't think he's going to make fun of me at all. But I'm competitive. I want to feel like I'm good. I'm going to want positive feedback. Hey, how am I doing? But seriously, you know what I mean? We have an appointment. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. Oh. Hey, AJ, thank you so much. AJ, I don't have a candle currently. I currently do not have a candle. I'm in a hotel. My candle's not even packed. It went to the garbage. It was done. But I don't have a candle. But thank you anyway for the $1.99. That was very sweet of you. Oh. So it's Tuesday morning. Had a couple days off of work. Sunday was a hard day for me because of it. Yesterday was nice. I felt I solidified my next several weeks in a way that was pleasing enough to me that I didn't feel a ton of pressure to climb to the top of Mount Everest. Meeting with my boxing teacher today, and have an interview later. It was funny when I set this interview, because I'm realistic. I know this is a real job for a real company, or at least I think it's a real job. But it seems I was expecting that every day when I would look in the on Indeed or whatever website I use, the job boards, I'd be able to find a similar type job that I'd be able to line up, 5 interviews over the next couple weeks of jobs that were similar in skill set, similar financial reward, similar responsibilities, etc. And it hasn't happened. I mean, there's other jobs that are vague. I'm looking for like territory manager or account executive or outside sales rep or B2B sales for a territory in and around Illinois. Tell you what, you read enough of those job descriptions, you're going, I don't even know what they do or what product they're selling. It seems if it's a product I could understand, I could get into it. But a lot of them are like financial services, and I don't know what they're talking about. I think I've read too many job descriptions. They're all blurring together. Good morning, Jim Rat. How are you? How are you? Is this Dana White? No, it's not Dana White. You're still a little bit under the weather. I'm sorry. Yeah, Jim Rat, having a cold is just no fun. I mean, I don't think it's supposed to be fun. Most of you probably missed my reading of Experiencing God Day by Day. Don't know how I feel about the passage I read this morning. But when you say you're dealing with your cold after reading this passage this morning, I'm wondering, maybe you did something wrong and God is steering you. And again, I'm not saying that, but that's what I got out of this passage. But who knows? Maybe you went playing out in the snow without a hat on. Not exactly a big sin. It's not mentioned in the Ten Commandments. But maybe God wants to steer you towards healthier living. I am late this morning. I am late. Well, thank you for sending me love from India. That's some far away love, but very appreciated love. Done with this one. Have a swig of water so I don't end up like Jim Rat, sick. Oh, somebody wants me to sing a song. I've already hummed some tunes this morning. And I've sang longer than several times for you. Maybe I'll. Oh, I saw a movie last night. Do you want to know what? I offered you guys the opportunity to guess what movie I saw yesterday. Nobody guessed Taken 2. And by the way, Taken 2 was on again last night on my cable. But it wasn't Taken 2 that I watched. Should I give some clues? I'll give some clues. Have I visited India? No, I have not visited India. Any handicap goals for the season? You mean in my golf game? No. I mean, I hope to play a little bit. I mean, I got my golf clubs right there. I played a little bit last year, but I sucked. I'd like to not suck. I'd like, if I hit a good drive, to have a chance of putting the mid to high iron on the green. I think you still can kind of get lucky with your drive every now and again and hit a pretty good one. But if you got like a pitching wedge into the green and you suck again, you used to try and aim at the pin. Now you're just trying to not make a fool of yourself or duff it or scald it or stuff like that. And that's very frustrating. But where was I? Oh, the movie I watched last night. I came to tears a couple times during it. I came to tears a couple times during the movie. It came out in 2001. You gave up on the pen. Yeah, but I'm not. I don't. Middle of the green would be fine too for me right now. Yeah, no. If you're not really good, if you just aim at the middle of the green, you're going to be so much better off score wise. There's no doubt about it. But what I'm saying is, I'm not. I used to be really good with my pitch and wedge and be able to hit, from 130 in and feel like I was good. I can't even, I'll chunk it or scald it now almost every time. Or if I hit it okay, it'll end up in the sand by the green. It'll take me 2 thwacks to get out, and I'll take an 8. Pisses me off. Drama, comedy, or sci-fi? Oh. It was the movie I saw yesterday. Hold on, it wasn't a drama really. It was a kind of a romantic tale, if you will. Well, you're not going to get it. You're not going to get the movie. Used to golf once a year for a school charity event. Any more often, your liability insurance would go up. Are we playing Guess the Movie? Well, we would, but you wouldn't have a chance. I mean, I could give more clues. The movie, give an actor from the film. All right, I'll give you a bit. The star. Heath Ledger was the star. Again, it blows me away how quick time flies. And I was going to say Heath Ledger looks so young and sweet in this movie. And I guess he died real young. But the fact that this movie was 25 years old, yeah, A Knight's Tale. A Knight's Tale, really good movie. I've seen it. I might have seen it 10 times. But it's another one of those movies that a guy and a girl would like because it's it's got battling and it's also got romance and it's sweet. And they kind of made it fun by adding like modern day music to it. And the opening scene right before a big jousting tournament, they're playing We Will Rock You by Queen. Yeah, no, it's a really sweet movie. I don't know if I love his love interest so much in that movie. But he did, and that's all that matters. Have I seen the show Mad Men? I've seen maybe a season of it or two. I thought it was good. But for some reason, I didn't keep watching it. How tall am I? I'm 6'2". Did I tell you I'm going to box with some dude today? I'm not really going to box. He doesn't seem like somebody that'll judge me harshly. Greg says that A Knight's Tale is Rocky-like. Well, I guess if you're looking at it as a guy that came from nothing and became the world champ, if you will, you're right. It is Rocky-like. But it was sweet how he found his father. And it was sweet how he was saved from the stockade by the prince. They don't really show how he was able to joust at the end without any armor on. And I get how he could joust and knock the bad guy off, but if you're not wearing any armor and a horse riding with his big pole hits you, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. Rebecca, you give up. We're talking about the movie. It's A Knight's Tale. Yeah, where have you been, Rebecca? Mm. Oh, somebody said people have been drinking less coffee in the last year. You think they chart year by year statistics of coffee drinking? I doubt people have been drinking less coffee in the last year. That seems like a statistic generated by somebody that wants to generate a statistic that proves some point that may or may not be true. You like to describe who's Geoffrey Chaucer. I liked him too. He was kind of the. He's actually been in a lot of movies since. I think that was the first movie I saw him in. He was in A Beautiful Mind. He was in several movies I've seen. I don't know the name of the actor, but yeah, he was great. Um, yeah, that was Geoffrey Chaucer. Mm. About 2 or 3 weeks ago, I posted a video on pot smoking, and it did really well on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram, and it's still getting seen. It's been seen over 100 and some thousand times on TikTok. I unveiled another one yesterday. It's been seen like, I don't even know, 15, 20,000 times on TikTok and a fair bit on YouTube and Instagram. I'll bet you if I wanted to just grow a channel, having anti-pot smoking message consistently would um, be a really good way to grow a channel uh, quickly. Mm. What change will I make if I become a billionaire? Well, I mean, honestly, I probably won't stay in this hotel. Uh, you wonder, though. I know you're not super probably serious about that, and you're just asking me. But I wonder how big of a change. I think many people think how hugely different their life would be if they became real rich. I mean, I guess, would I interview for this job I have this afternoon? Would I keep going to this job I already have? I certainly wouldn't stay in this hotel. All right. And I probably, as much as I love the Kia Soul, I'm one of the Kia Souls listening. Don't tell it. I'd probably upgrade the Kia Soul. I'd probably get myself an Audi. But outside of that, I mean, I'm still going to go to the gym. You know what I mean? I wouldn't want to go to some fancier, more expensive, newer, cleaner gym, really. I'd still go to the same coffee shop. I'd still be me. I don't know how much our lives would change if we suddenly became mega wealthy. Spider-Man said, but rich people are the most saddest people. I think the reason maybe rich people might be sad if they are is because in our minds, and I've had a ton of money, so I'm aware of this, I think. In our minds, our goal is to make a ton of money, and we think if we made a ton of money, we'd suddenly be gloriously happy. So we focus our daily efforts at building wealth, amassing a fortune, gaining a ton of money, and being happy. The struggles that I think mega wealthy people are is they've achieved that, and they still realize there's something lacking in their heart or their soul, or they don't know why they're not happy despite having all the money in the world. Because you still wake up and you still go, crap, the weather sucks, crap, I got, you know, what am I missing? Why am I not happy? Or you know, why am I still worried about something? I don't think our lives would change nearly as much as, and again, okay, like I said, I wouldn't be in this hotel room. I don't even know if I'd want to buy a house, to be honest with you. I'm new to the area. How cool of an apartment do I need? You know? The line from Wall Street, how many yachts can you water ski behind? You know, you wouldn't have the day-to-day financial pressure, but I think with that comes a whole lot of pressure as well. WMCC says people that live off the grid live very basic and seem happier over celebrities. How do you know that people that live off the grid are happier than celebrities, though? I think we like to romanticize that they are, and maybe they are. But honestly, how would we know that people that live off the grid are happier? Rebecca would fly right over in her private jet just to have coffee with me. Wouldn't that be lovely, Rebecca? But seriously, I mean, again, I don't think people realize. Somebody said, "What would I do if I became a billionaire?" I don't know. You're right. I wouldn't live in this hotel room, but this hotel room isn't the biggest trouble in my life. I mean, I'm thankful for it. It's got free coffee, you know? I'd still want to go to the gym. I'd still be going, crap, you know? I think most of us would be shocked how little our life would uh, change with money. Mm. Oh, man, it's nice. Do they have a do-it-yourself waffle maker? No, no, they don't. That's a good question. Because the hotel I checked in a year ago, that I was living in 1 year ago in Appleton, Wisconsin, did have a do-it-yourself waffle maker. All right, what would change? And I say, I really wouldn't buy myself a do-it-myself waffle maker if I had the money. I wouldn't. I wouldn't even be tempted to. But for joke's sake, I want to say if I had $1 billion, I'd get myself one of those fancy schmancy do-it-yourself waffle makers. They're deliciously tasty. Mel Spoke said financially secure people are the happiest. I mean, I don't believe that at all, Mel. I think you maybe just made that up, like the person that said the people that live off the grid are the happiest. There have been many stories of celebs that moved to Montana, Tennessee, or Utah just to have privacy for their families. Oh, yeah. Yeah. But pretty soon, those places in those areas get filled with celebrities. There's a place called Big Sky, Montana that I stopped in. I wasn't that impressed with Big Sky, Montana, for the record. But either way, that a bunch of celebrities own these fancy homes. I think having a super fancy home would be fun to visit. But for me, I mean, I don't even know if I had $1 billion, if I'd want a 4 bedroom. I'd want a bedroom for me. I've got 2 little ones. I think they should share. I mean, they're little. I think they're probably happier and sweeter, and it's makes me smile the image of them sharing a bedroom and maybe a guest bedroom. But I think we have such, we buy a bunch of stuff and suddenly we're happy. Chance said there are plenty of financially secure people who are miserable. We got to have faith in Jesus. I kind of think, I hate to say it, because I don't even know if I have faith in Jesus, although I do have an Experiencing God book and a Holy Bible right here. But I kind of think that's true. I think that's kind of the point of religion. Wealthier people of the past lived in a home that was probably like 200 square feet. I don't know if that's true. I think everyone on here is just totally making up some stuff today. Greg says the best thing is to be appreciative of what God has done for us. And that is true. I hate to say, yeah. But I'll say, yeah. Like I said, I'm thankful for my hotel room. But truth be told, if I had $1 billion, I would not still be in the hotel room. I might upgrade a little bit, but only with the knowledge that upgrading a little bit wouldn't be some easy path to happiness. AJ said if he had $1 billion, he'd still live in the same place. You're happy here. You wouldn't move or wouldn't try to change too many things. Yeah. Greg's happy for coffee with Ken. Isn't that sweet? Hello, Cole. How are you doing? Josh Duhamel built a cabin in rural Minnesota. Lived off the grid for years. All right. I can picture him. I think I can picture him. Not totally sure what he starred in. How's the coffee this morning, Cole? The coffee is glorious this morning. Nancy would buy a second home in a warmer climate. But you'd love to be in a position to give more. All right. Okay. Yeah, it'd be nice to be able to give more, to various causes. That would feel good. But about the second home in a warmer climate, would I buy a second home? Or would that just be a commitment? You know? It's almost frightening when you think about it, what you'd really do. And okay, for those of us that have to go to work today, maybe we wouldn't go to work. But if we didn't go to work, what would we do? Would I lay? I mean, my kids are all in school today. Would I lay in my hotel bed or whatever bed I had? It's frightening to think about. I mean, honestly, I've kind of had this interviews in my mind schedules for the last 10 days. It's what I've been thinking about. If I canceled it, I'd have nothing to think about. You'd like to be able to surprise a waiter with a huge tip. Well, the waiter would probably appreciate it. It'd be nice to be able to tithe more at church or something to make a difference. There's a lot of homeless people out there. I don't know how I would help them, but hopefully you could. I'm not sure what that would look like. Yeah. You'd lay groundwork to make your future better. But what does your future better mean? You mean more money in the future? I think that's what I'm saying. I think we look for money to be, you just said to make your future better. What does that mean? Invest, save money, buy some annuity? That will just assure you have more money in the future, but we can't even figure out how more money today is going to make our day better. You have part-time jobs and volunteer work planned for when you retire at 58. Not money, happiness. Okay. But what does that mean? Lay the groundwork for happiness in the future. Why don't you solve your happiness now? Oh, that's good. I mean, I think the key to happiness is appreciating, like Greg said, the blessings we have. That delicious swig of coffee, the warm hotel room, the clouds in the sky. But we don't. I know I don't. I mean, I think I do a pretty good job of it, but I don't do it good enough. I worry, I fret, I bitch, I moan. I think that's a pretty good exercise to do. What would you do if you had $1 billion? And nobody out there is really, I mean, Nancy said she'd buy a home in a warmer climate. And that's the only suggestion really anyone made of something. I mean, I'd get out of my hotel room and exchange my Kia Soul for an Audi, but that wouldn't, you know, really make everything cool. I think that's a really good exercise. Rebecca said, be thankful for what we have. Rebecca's only desire, if she had $1 billion, would be to own a private jet to go have coffee with me in person. I appreciate that, Rebecca. Again, I think, and I've talked about this a lot, is having a ton of money doesn't make us happier. But it sucks to be broke. It sucks to worry about how you're going to pay child support, rent, car payments, you know, stuff like that. But massive amounts of money isn't going to increase your happiness really significantly at all. And I don't know what the number is, but I've often said, you know, and again, I'm twice divorced, so my bills are allocated differently than a lot of you guys. But if I made 200 grand, I could pay each ex-wife a good chunk of money and still have enough to cover all my expenses. So anything beyond, say, 200 grand would just be, you know, redundant and unnecessary. WMCC says, need just enough to be comfortable. You definitely don't need to be really rich. Yeah, as a matter of fact, as far as like a home, I don't even know if I want to own any extra homes. But I think a cabin in the North Woods somewhere where I could go fishing, have a dog, and have my kids come and visit and go swimming. I think that sounds fun, but that's not expensive. That's kind of just simple. Link said he would pay everything off, fix everything up, and travel more. Mm. Oh. Hmm. Wonder, wonder if my boxing trainer is going to call in sick. He doesn't have my phone number. I couldn't just blow him off. Then I could never go to the gym again. I wouldn't just blow him off anyway. We're talking about this money. I have a job at a restaurant that I just got through training at, and I'm working Saturday, and there's a shift available Saturday morning, which would mean I'd be doing a double, which is a pretty long day to be a waiter and standing and running around for 10 or 12 hours straight. But I could use the money. And I wonder if this interview goes well, I probably won't pick up the second shift. And if I had $1 billion, I'm pretty darn sure I wouldn't pick up the second shift. And although the interview will go well, I'm sure there's a lot of people applying for the job. So, and I'm probably not going to get $1 billion between now and Saturday. So since those are probably both off the table, and no matter how well the interview goes today, it's not like they're going to say, you're hired. What's your bank account number? We're going to start sending you paychecks right away. Be nice if they did, though. Yeah, Greg, yeah, that's a good line, Greg. I'm not going to read it out loud, though. Mm. Oh, it's good. What a glorious audience today. What an absolutely steady, solid, glorious audience. I almost didn't go live this morning because I was pretty quiet and at peace. Didn't know if I'd want to risk this. Greg said a minute ago that he likes good conversation, and I do too, but sometimes it's nice just to be quiet and just chill out and stare out the window and maybe, I don't know, watch the news. But that's not even as dramatic as the events are going on in the world right now. I think I already have fatigue from maybe watching too much of those events and dissecting every statement made by every political person. And yeah, I think I'm already um, and I don't know if the country's this way. I don't know if the country has the stomach for any prolonged battle or war anywhere right now. Greg, by the way, I go live almost every morning. I almost didn't today, but I still did. So if you're new here and you'd be kind enough to double tap that screen, I greatly appreciate it. It's possible that the powers that be at YouTube see that I'm getting a lot of likes on my video and will push my video out, my live out to a larger audience. And I'd appreciate that. That'd be very nice if you do that. So if you wouldn't mind double tapping your screen, that'd be awesome. And what would be the end game of my audience growing? I'd make more money. What's the point of that? Well, because I could make more to be enough. Because my goal is 200 grand in income, we decided. Because at 200 grand in income, I mean, but even still, I mean, I have 4 kids. That wouldn't be enough to significantly, but I don't know that I'd want to give them each $10 million. Because then they'd be still burdened with the same issues that we're talking about here. The money doesn't buy happiness, and they need to find joy. Uh, Maybe on their own a little bit. Somebody said you can't live on 200 grand. I think you can. Has anybody ever told me that I have a Mr. Rogers kind of vibe cadence? Yes. Yes, they have. Dale says let them earn it. Yeah, I think I would like them to earn it. I'd like to set them up so it would be a little easier. And it doesn't, and I don't even know what that means. Maybe nothing fancy, but like if they, and one of them's already graduated high school and is in college, but to get them a nice, reliable car or something for a high school graduation gift that would reduce their financial stressors a little bit. Because massive financial stressor isn't fun. I'd say a down payment on a house, but again, a little bit that's a material desire. Chance said, one of my best friends in the past was a trust fund kid and practically valued nothing he had. Hello, Tar Heel. How are you? Somebody just said money can buy an education. Makes me wonder. If you have to pay for something, how valuable is it really? You have to be smart enough to use it. Seeley grew up privileged, but you're very grateful. It's a glorious audience. That's one thing I really know. You find everything you need for free, exactly. And again, there's basic needs we have. Food, shelter. But even me, I said if I had $1 billion, what would I do? Well, first of all, I'd move out of this hotel because I spend more in the hotel than I would in a nice 2-bedroom apartment. So that doesn't make any financial sense. But my Kia Soul, which is great, is going to be replaced. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Let us see. Money can buy opportunity to learn. Working at learning gets one an education. I'm not totally sure what that means. I'm not totally sure what that means. You don't think that an education nowadays should cost as much as it used to? Well, it costs a lot more than it used to. Sounds like Mr. Rogers, looks like Bruce Willis, a perfect combination. It's funny because they're so different. Bruce Willis is an endearing, tough guy because he's not like super tough. Because he gets hit and hurt. And he's a human. And I think that's what we like about him in his movies, that he's fairly a regular guy. Oh, is that no? Nice. Is that nice? Well, in about half an hour, I'm going to head off to the gym. You do think nowadays that they teach as much as we learn in school. I think nowadays it's more indoctrination. Yeah. I think actually, if you look at what they teach in school, they teach at a higher level now. Again, I talked about it. I was a substitute teacher a couple months ago, and I was in a class of either kindergartners or first graders or something. They were little, and they were talking about like hexagons and things like that. That to me seemed a little beyond what a first grader should know. I've been looking swole. Swole's a really ugly sounding word, but if you're saying strong, I'm not shocked. This is my third week since I've been here, and I've been going 5 days a week. I'm working out pretty darn hard. And I'm going today. Going to do some mitt work. Pop, pop, pop. Juking and jiving. I'm going to challenge this guy to get in the ring, and he's going to beat me like a drum. I probably outweigh him by 30, 40 pounds, but he's still going to pummel me. I'd be sitting there, wouldn't even know what hit me. So it's Tuesday morning, and it has been a glorious audience. We got 51 people watching. We got 57 thumbs up. We've got $1.99 in the kitty. And I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to go get myself another cup of coffee and probably get changed and head out of here in about, 35 minutes or so. But I'm excited about my day. And I hope you're excited about your day as well. And I hope your week started out great yesterday. And you are feeling good. I hope you are loving yourself. I hope you are forgiving yourself. And as always, I hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.